All right, everybody. Welcome to the live stream of the longest DFS day in my career. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Bobby?
Hey, how's it going, man?
What's going on?
Just diving into it.
So I would like to, if anybody comes and joins us for this live chat, I've already previewed them in the Discord by saying that there are full disclaimers, and in the name of transparency, it is going to be a do as I say, not as I do situation. I'm going to be attacking this slate one way, and probably recommend that nobody do what I do. But that's I'm just going to say. I mean, this is where I'm gonna be. So just to give you guys a little bit of a teaser. Again, we got all kinds of content coming out. By the time you're looking at this live, probably the main slate preview is probably up there. We just did that, and I'm going to be doing an MMA preview and we're going to be doing a pretty cool video a little bit later with Jordan from SaberSim, where we talk about how to use SaberSim to build some football lineups. And from what I've read in our Discord, they've made some improvements to their builders, both for baseball and football. So we'll try to get them to talk about the baseball stuff a little bit as well. And obviously I'll kind of try to figure it out myself as I kind of poke around through it. Hey, what's up, Kevin?
Good to see you, Kevin. But yeah, I'm excited about that video with SaberSim. I think that'll be a good that'll be helpful for the football season coming up. I'm starting
why don't you tell me what you're doing, and then I'm going to show people how to do it.
So I don't think there's any what's weird is I think there's more viable stacks on this early slate than there was yesterday on the main slate.
Interesting. Okay.
I really like the Braves, Dodgers, and Angels. Those are my three favorites. I don't feel the need as much to go crazy with Colorado and Milwaukee, except for using their value. And it's so weird. It's kind of annoying now because that's what I do now with Coors. Basically, I'm using the value from Coors, and then I'm playing all the other stacks that I want to play surrounding it. And I actually like the strategy. I'm with it, but I don't think it's great in general that we have the cheapest players in the slate and the best hitting environments, the highest run totals, etc. I do think that one thing that I wish I would have taken more advantage of, and I've tried to, but I just haven't gotten the right pieces, is this insane heat wave. I mean, you guys don't know. It's been hotter out here than it ever is. It's 100 degrees.
I saw a tweet from Gavin Newsom just now, or whatever.
Yeah,
guy's out of his mind.
I didn't see what he said.
Well, to protect he said they're in flex phase or whatever it is. He's recommended everybody not use too many appliances, shut the lights off, and keep the thermostat at 78.
78? Get out of here.
That's what he said.
To keep it at 65 just to get it to 78.
78? That's what'd you say?
You have to keep it at 65 just to get the temperature to 78.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
It's true.
Yeah, but if I ever kept my house at 78, I would literally melt. Sorry, Gavin. I apologize. So yeah, I've heard about it. I mean, it's I think it was probably in reaction to our trolling the San Francisco weather situation every night when it was like 40 degrees every day, and yeah. I think the Mother Nature is really putting all the regression in a couple of weeks, for Los Angeles, right?
Well, we're talking about. So I was in Santa Barbara. I'm down in LA now. I was in Santa Barbara, and I was in Santa Ynez. It was 123 the other day, which is where I was staying. Which was, even if you have the aircon on inside, you can still feel the heat like melting you. In Santa Barbara town, in the city, on the water, on the beach, it was 110 degrees. Santa Barbara nowhere has air conditioning in actual Santa Barbara. Like 95% of the homes don't have air conditioning because the weather is always perfect. It never gets above 80. And now we're going through this insane heat wave, and all I'm saying for DFS, we should take advantage of it.
Let me tell you something. When I lived in, we'll get into this. We don't have much time. I don't have much time. You can stay as long as you want. Obviously, I just have to go to do the Survivor video in like 20 minutes. But when I lived in LA, I lived there. When I lived with Steve, I was there for like a year or so, and I would go to the different tracks that was racing. I would go to Santa Anita when Santa Anita was racing, Hollywood Park when Hollywood Park was racing. and there's like a 3-week stretch where they have the fair racing, and it's in it was in Pomona, okay, and it was Pomona at like the end of August, maybe this week in September, right around there. I have never been so hot in my entire life as when I went to Pomona for that day of racing, because you know how it is in LA when you get into the valley and whatever it is, and all the heat.
It's a whole different world.
Just a whole cauldron like in there. When it gets hot there in LA, it gets there. So as you were saying, I mean, that means that ball just flies. You know,
like you don't see games at 100 degrees at Dodger Stadium though, because that is not in the valley. Like it is. I mean, right. It is downtown, so you can have that heat. But in general, Dodger Stadium, just because of how it's located, you don't see temperatures at 100 very often. Very, very hard for me not to have interest even against Alex Cobb, who I respect as a pitcher. I don't think I would take. I just don't think any pitcher at this point we shouldn't just take the Dodgers against. Like they're the nuts, even though they didn't quite get me there last night. I love the Dodgers and I love the Angels today, and partly for the same reason. It's just so warm, man. It's so warm. What are you doing?
Yeah, so this is what I'm doing, guys. I apologize for this, but as you may have heard in my previous diatribe in the other video about all the stuff that's going on, like my brain's like it's literally just in another planet right now, just like multitasking, multi-thinking, whatever it is. So anything I say is like pure like kind of mad scientist mode. But this is what I'm doing. And for those of you that have been following along, my kind of analysis of things, you won't be surprised at all about the way I kind of analyze things. So as you guys know, like Spencer Strider set an all-time record for Atlanta as far as strikeouts go in his last start, and he got 16 strikeouts.
So you're playing Oakland,
and he's going to be 1,000,000% owned, and I am going to be playing 0 of him and probably 30% owned. That is what I'm doing. It is literally like mathematically just a terrible idea, but that's just the way I've done things over the years. When somebody has a ceiling performance, whether it be in horse racing, baseball, going back to when freaking Juan Nieves pitched the freaking no-hitter back in like 1987. And I bet against him back then, but I think that's actually pretty close to accurate as far as the dates go. Maybe 86 or whatever. But Juan Nieves from the Brewers, we bet against him. And it's just what I'm doing. And it's not just because Oakland like made me all the money once a couple of months ago. It's just what I'm kind of up to. So what I'm doing is my pitching. I am going to be obviously the two righties against the team that can't hit righties. I mean, whatever. I mean, I'm all over Sandoval, and Castillo. So those are the two pitchers I'm playing. I also have actually some slivers of some other dudes. I have some slivers of Herman just for whatever reason. Just because, again, if I'm fading Strider, I don't want to get. I don't want to lose if he has a bad game. Let's put it that way. And I do like, and what that also does for me is it allows me to play Milwaukee if I feel like it. You know what I mean? And I am playing some, but I do like the Dodgers, and I do like the Angels as well. So for me, I mean, literally, if Strider does really what his median projection is, I just lose. I mean, he's just gonna. He probably, listen, he has a 100% strikeout rate, and he's priced probably 2,000 too cheap if you want to know the truth. I mean, given what he's been doing. But I'm on a short slate. I'm just doing it, and hopefully I'll make the money back in League of Legends or something else. So that's kind of what I'm doing. But I do really like the Angels. I have little slivers of Seattle just for no reason, and I just wanted to spread out a little bit, considering that I'm just really just taking that stand. I also, by the way, is there any reason why I shouldn't play Clayton Kershaw?
I don't know how much he's going to pitch, to be honest with you. I think it'll be his normal 5-6 innings, like somewhere around 80 pitches.
Okay.
Maybe not the ceiling the other guys have because of that.
Okay.
So
I do have a little bit of him too.
Yeah, I'm good with Kershaw. Like I just I don't know. Personally, I would rather play the other guys. I am playing. I'm probably going to lock in Strider, and I am going to play Sandoval as my number 2 mainly, and I will play some Castillo. I'm not really getting too creative with anything else. But I like I like the idea. If I was a stacking person, I would go for it. What I would say is if you wanted to get different with another pitcher, and this may not be the most exciting thing in the world. It's more of a theory play than it is most things, but I still think Kopech has upside.
That's interesting because I came across him and I didn't quite click the button, but what was I worried about?
Seattle's
does he have a leash issue from being off the injured list or no?
No, he's been pitching. He didn't pitch for the last like 12 days.
Yeah.
I have to double check what that was about, but I still think at 7,100, they're going to let him go. He's banged up. Let me just grab his thing real quick. It's more of a long shot play. I was just throwing it out there because you have a 3% owned guy that it wouldn't surprise me had the second best score of the day. Yeah, he had the knee strain, so it doesn't make me so worried unless he re-aggravates it. But I still believe in the kid's talent, and I think that would be my weird gambling pitching move if I had to make one.
Okay.
But I really want to just highlight that all these games on the West Coast are just awesome again.
Yeah.
I almost got the right Knicks. Yet last night I finished third on FanDuel with the Atlanta Dodgers. Atlanta, I'm kind of shocked by their not getting more ownership today. And I don't know, man. I feel like that might be something I might have to force out even some of my other stuff just because I like Atlanta quite a bit. But I really like the Dodgers, and I really like – who's also not going to be very high owned. I like the Angels who will have ownership, but the Dodgers, Braves, and Angels are definitely the teams that I'm heaviest on. And you have two reasonably good pitchers or adequate pitchers in Coors, and just enough for me to stay, okay, well, I don't need to make that a priority. I'm just using that game for value.
I don't mind playing Lauer a little bit.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about Lauer actually so much. It is interesting, though. I don't think it's the worst idea in the world. I just don't quite see the need for it. It start getting a little too creative for me,
Yeah,
but I'm okay with it.
It's dicey.
And the Dodgers have the weird lineup they put out today. So you get some savings with Trace Thompson batting sixth at 2,700. You've got Barnes catching instead of Will Smith. Now, these may not be the most exciting guys to play, but I would take shots with him. One thing about Barnes is I'm telling you, he doesn't play that much, but his swing, he's changed it to give himself more power. We haven't really had a chance to really realize it throughout the season because he just doesn't play enough. You know what I mean? I mean, how can you play over Will Smith? But he is capable of hitting a home run, and that's good enough for me. He's, a home run per 20 at bats so far this year against righties. That's actually pretty solid. And for a guy who's 2,900 and probably goes unowned in the Dodgers stack. So
I have a question. What do you think of these cheapos in New York?
I can't deal with the 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing in.
Okay.
So I kind of the Guzman would be the one, I guess, right?
I like the leadoff guy's not bad.
Yeah, I like Oswaldo. I mean, yeah, I think it's viable. It is really weird to see the Yankees. You could have told me this game if you didn't look at the weather or anything, and you could have said the Yankees had a 6-run line, and I would not have been at all surprised. But they've got a 4-run implied total because that wind blowing in. It's not great hitting weather. It's 72 degrees, not as hot as it is some other places today. Did you get to any Herman?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I just wish he would strike somebody out.
Yeah, he doesn't do that too often.
He had one strikeout in his last start.
Yeah.
But this kid is supposed to be okay. This talent, for Minnesota, I think it's okay to use him. I just don't see any reason to. Like, what are we saving for exactly? I guess if you want to play all of Atlanta and the Dodgers, maybe. But even still, you're not talking about like saving quite. I don't know. I just can't quite get to him. I'm just keeping my pitching pool tight to answer that question from Kevin. And thank you to Jenna for the funny words. Let's see. Would playing Colorado instead of Milwaukee be leverage? No. Colorado should be just about as owned as Milwaukee today. So I do not think that Colorado you're doing anything creative by playing Colorado. Do you agree, Sheets?
Yeah, Colorado's going to get ownership.
It'll be close between those two teams.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's no reason on a slate like this that you have to jump on the Coors train. Sure, of course, it's 90 degrees. It could happen. It's all that stuff. It's still great hitting weather everywhere else. And remember, most of these Dodgers, all these beautiful numbers they put up all year long have been in 70-degree weather with light, little breezes. Now you've got wind blowing out at 100 miles an hour in the middle of the day. I'll take the Dodgers, Angels, and Braves over Milwaukee or Colorado today.
Yeah, I don't. I like the idea. I'm going to do this of not playing. What's his face? Kershaw.
Ryder?
No, Kershaw.
Yeah.
And I also like the Atlanta.
Yeah.
What did Kershaw? Kershaw was perfect through 4 in his last game, right?
Kershaw was. I don't know what he was actually.
No.
No, I don't think so.
There was something I thought.
Maybe he was. Well, I don't know if he was perfect, but he probably was fine. He's going to probably go out and put up 15 to 20 fantasy points. Maybe a little bit
Kershaw. No, he's all right. He said he put 4 perfect innings before leaving the game. Wait, that can't be.
But he threw 5 innings though.
Yeah, I don't know what that.
That's weird.
Well, maybe that was his first start back. He threw the 4 perfect. No, I don't know what these. What are they talking about? Whatever.
We still have no Angels lineup, right? Would like to see an Angels lineup. Let me see. Did we get one? Oh wait, maybe we did. Yeah, we got it. Taylor Ward, Mike Ford. Tell you what, every time I keep playing these Angels, and then I'm like, why am I not playing Joe Adele? your guy, Sheets. That's your guy.
Yeah, and here's another guy, by the way, that you don't have to play. But I don't know if this guy's any good. But if the Yankees are that diluted today, is that cheapo from the Twins any good?
I think it's like we just talked about. It's viable, but I'm not.
You don't need it. You just don't need it.
Yeah, I didn't find the need to go there personally.
Yeah, I just have a funny feeling that it's going to be a weird result today. I mean, can't really put my finger on why. I just to play Milwaukee and Strider, you know what I mean? I just
well, I wouldn't do that.
Right. No, I know you wouldn't, but I'm saying I just think something funny is going to happen. I think that, and I kind of, if I was really in the mood, I really would play a lot of Lauer just for something to do. He's always got. I've gotten him wrong literally every single time. I mean, he always seems to put up a number when I just don't play any of them. So, Colorado coming off a 10-run thing yesterday. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
By the way, if you're not playing, if you do want to get another like super weird one, I wouldn't stack them, but I would take some shots on some of the Giants righties. Just with the weather being the way that it is, I believe Flores has a good history against Kershaw. So just throwing that out there if you wanted to get a little bit weird. But I think you can get weird enough with the Dodgers and Dodgers, Angels, and just basically skipping except for the value parts of the Coors game.
Evan, what do you know about this dude? This Varlin guy. I mean, he brought him up too. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's viable. I mean, I'm just not doing it. Probably, it's the truth.
Yeah. Oakland. He's their top prospect. All right. Hey.
Yeah, no, he is. He's considered a real prospect. That part.
All right. I mean,
yeah.
This is the lineup to try. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. Can't quite get my Dodgers and Angels paired perfectly to where it makes quite sense, but I really want to.
There's Atlanta. Let's get up to Trey Turner there. Yeah, all right. I'll root, Kevin. I'll root. You know what? I'll play a couple. And this kind of sounds so stupid. I might be moving some Kershaw lineups to Varlin. Now that's going to require some more. I don't want to leave 7,000 on the table or whatever that's going to be. That's right.
Right. Trout, Ward. I'm just trying to double check this Angels lineup and make sure.
Who are your favorite Dodgers today?
Betts, Turner, and Trace Thompson for the value. Betts, Turner, Trace Thompson, and Muncy.
Okay.
Gallo would be the next one for me. But I also do like I'm good with the Austin Barnes at the bottom of the order. getting overshadowed by the Caratini thing. I'll take my shots with Austin Barnes. Wish I had a cheap third baseman that I liked, and I can't really find anybody who really stands out for me. Maybe I will play the JD Davis against Kershaw just to get a little bit weirder. Even don't know if I really want to do that though. Ohtani, that's what I can do.
You know, I'm going to keep a couple of Kershaws just in case.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, I'm going with a 4-3. And I've got a 1 Colorado, but it doesn't feel like the right one to have. Don't want a solo guy batting 8th usually, but this kind of slate, I think you're okay with it, right? Yeah. Do I do the Trout, JD Davis, or Montero and Ohtani? Just makes more sense for JD Davis, I think, to do that way. Pop in any more questions or thoughts, guys? I'm just still trying to figure out what I want to do.
Angels you on, Kevin? I mean, aside from the obvious guys, I mean, I always like I like the whatchamacallit, the Renigfo. I like him.
Yeah, I like him too.
He's expensive, so
he's not that bad though.
Yeah.
My Angels are Trout, Ohtani, Ward, Trout, Ohtani, Ward, Ford. Not trying to rhyme, or I'm sorry, it sounded weird. Trout, Ohtani, Ward, Ford. Yeah. Caratini.
And again, also just for disclosure, I'm not playing. You know, I'm not stacking Oakland in the big buy-in or anything like that. You know, I'm just playing them throughout the smaller stuff.
Right. That makes sense.
What's the max players you're getting of Angels?
4, but 5 is fine. I'm only getting to 4. All of these cheapos with no power upside. Woof.
Yeah.
I think it is. That is what I'm
doing. Florial from the Yankees?
Sure.
No, I'd rather go to the Thompson from the Dodgers, I think.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
well, Green Monster. What you're suggesting is an incredibly chalky combination. Strider and Sandoval with a Milwaukee stack.
Yeah, that's just that's
I'm
your.
I'm not saying it's a bad play, if you're playing cash or something like that.
I'll say if you're playing tournaments, that is a bad play.
Right. Well, right.
Yeah. Let's see who else. What else? There's nothing else going on there. Yeah, this kid against the Yankees could have a day. Could go the other way though. It's just
yeah.
The weather is just so much worse than it is everywhere else. It's hard for me to. I mean, Dodger Stadium is this. You don't see this stuff. You don't see this in Anaheim. It's 98. You know, it's the wind blowing. I really wish I had a little more Braves. To be honest with you, that's the thing I'm sort of regretting the most is I don't have more Braves, and I think I'm just gonna have to build in one stack. Darno. Matt Olson is. I swear. I just feel like every time this guy. Certain guys, I feel like when they go home, I just feel like they always hit home runs, but I'm not really basing that on anything. But I do really like the lefty thing for Olson.
All right, I am gonna skip out because I got to prepare for the other thing in 5 minutes.
Okay. All right. Good luck to everybody. And